Well, if our hosts would be done getting high over there, we could do our introductions and get started with this thing.
I don't think I'm ever done getting high.
Got a man on the clock over here. You don't understand, Ron. He's got places to be, things to do.
True.
At one time. You could get a couple more in you.
Yeah. Get up to peak. Freaks and geeks, drinkers, thinkers, ramblers and gamblers, stoners and pet owners. This is the Outsiders Social Club, a place where us misfits, miscreants, weirdos, oddballs, eccentrics, outcasts get together and palaver, ramble, prattle, and what have you. So without further ado, here it goes.
One for the party, baby. Puff on the road, drumming, knock back a drink. There's nobody home.
Hello, and welcome to the Outsiders Social Club. I'm your master of ceremonies, Drinks with Ron. Here with me, the godfather of drinks, Squirrely Dan's older brother, Troy. And the Hastronaut from the podcast, The Pitfalls of Nostalgia. Nostalgia Pit, is that what we're going with?
Yeah, the Nostalgia Pit.
I love the rebrand.
Yeah, it's something. Once we figure out what it is, it'll be good. Nostalgia.
I hear you. Yeah, Nostalgia Pit, wherever podcasts are available. I think we got regular rules tonight, right? 2.5 dogs is the over-under. Drink if you hear a dog or a cat or a bong. And with that, we will go to the godfather of drinks for the over-under on drinks tonight. Troy, what you got for us?
Well, Ronno, appreciate the time. We've got a bit of a conundrum here in my world.
Ooh.
I was going to have a little Kentucky bourbon on the rocks this evening to celebrate my country roots in honor of our esteemed guest. And when I'm in honky-tonks around the world, I like to have me a good old-fashioned bourbon ice. And a good old-fashioned Bud Light chaser. Nothing keeps you going through the whole set like that. But, my friends, boil order hit my town today. Boil order. No drinking water allowed.
Whoa.
My ice tray was empty.
So it's beers then?
Chaos ensued. It is bourbon neat this evening, violating my country music code. I'll keep my pinky up so I feel like I'm listening to jazz, so it should be okay. And with that very little bit, we'll set tonight's over-under at 2 full sets of full drinks or 9 sips for those of us drinking at home or drinking alone.
Oh, a sip modifier. I guess that's... Well, then, hell, I guess, I'll join you with the bourbon then. I've got the Wollersheim 2 Mile Wisconsin Straight Bourbon Whiskey.
Excellent. And also, since I know they're listening tonight, Ronno, I'd like to give a shout out to Robert's Western World in Nashville, Tennessee, my favorite honky tonk for weekend jaunts.
Well done. And
Robert's Western World, where they have fried bologna sandwiches and you can tip the cook.
Oh, okay. I don't believe I've ever had a fried bologna sandwich. Interesting.
You have yet to live if you haven't had fried bologna.
Yeah, it's fair.
What caused the boil order?
TMI for those of you who don't care about water chemistry or science. The town had a pressurization loss in their water lines, and mandatory state rules require you to issue a boil order after pressure loss below 20 psi. So any loss for any amount of time causes that problem. So this town of 70,000 people had one pump go south on them for the first time in 30 years, and now we're all boiling our water tonight for no real reason other than maybe there might be something in it. But
I was hoping it would be something cool, like they found like a dead alien.
Well, they found out someone was growing a bunch of pot.
Yeah,
they were doing hydroponics in the water tank, and so we were excited about that. We tried not to tell anybody, but yet the secret got out.
Oh, crazy Dale been shitting in the water tower again. Something good. Well, I mean, I don't think you can beat a segue like that to bring in our next guest, musician, man about town, old friend of mine. I've known him for, it's been over 20 years now. Let's bring in Jim Seam to great fanfare.
Hey. How's it going? Good to see y'all.
Indeed. It's been too long, man.
That's right. Last time I saw you, I think one of the last times I'd driven through a tornado, right through a tornado. and I did an interview with you, and I was so shook up. I think it was the worst interview I ever did.
I don't know. I just actually watched that yesterday. It wasn't too bad.
It wasn't too bad.
Yeah, no, that's yeah. I think the roughest part was the cat was in his chair and he wouldn't give it up for you to sit in. So and keep booting the cat, but
it looks bad. And I knew what it was, but I had to try it. I had to go right through it. It was awesome. It was worth it.
I forgot about that till you just said it now, man. Man, that's crazy. But yeah, like I said, I met you. Would have been January of maybe 02 or 03.
That's crazy. I believe it.
I had a birthday party and I had a friend of yours I worked with, and she pulled the old, "Oh, you play music? I got a friend that plays music." And, "Oh, yeah, you got a friend that plays. Oh, sure. Yeah, can't wait." So yeah, she brings Jim over and is like, "Holy shit. Like, this guy plays. This guy's good. He's better than us. I like this." But I think what our first big bonding over was the old school rap. And my fantastic old school rap CD collection. I remember you burning plenty of them. So I just wanted to dive into kind of your early influences and what kind of colored your style coming up.
Well, I remember one of the first songs I really, really liked was that song Aisha by Another Bad Creation. That song hit me hard. It's a throwback. This is like the predecessor to Criss Cross, to Kid Group. They were better. Criss Cross stole their style basically, but that was one of the first like hip hop songs I really liked. But I was a hip hop guy, like Diggable Planets. I had this like hot babysitter who had like all these hip hop tapes. She was like a bad kid, and she had them all. And so she really put me onto like LL Cool J. And I think since I was like, I think I got into hip hop in like '89. So like High C was kind of hitting that, and UMTV Raps was really important. That's how you heard good music, in my small town, from a town of 3,000 people. So
we never even got MTV. We didn't get MTV till a couple fucking years ago. I think we were done playing music already. But I know you were a big R&B and kind of soul guy too.
Yeah, for sure.
That's kind of where. We had the overlap on the rap, but a lot of the other artists you were into weren't people I was familiar with.
Jodeci, when I was very young, way too young, that song, like songs like Freaking You, things like that, changed my life. I would just listen to them over and over, and it probably influenced my, behavioral patterns.
7-year-old kid grinding on the couch.
That's true.
Yeah.
The unmentionable R. Kelly, of course. And then later on, like D'Angelo, Jagged Edge, all these things. So, but yeah, I don't really listen to country music at all. I mean, there's like a few good songs, but I take like, all these like rhythmic patterns I've learned from like hip hop and R&B and like dance hall, like Jamaica music. And I think it kind of is like, I think it gives me an edge because I can kind of see where country is going. It's like kind of doing this R&B hip hop thing, but I think I'm like, there already. So.
Well, it's weird because, I mean, I'd tell people years ago, "Oh, yeah, you should check out my buddy Jim. He plays around town, blah, blah, blah." Like, well, what does he sound like? And I was like, well, there's nobody I can compare him to. About 7 years ago, I went down to Nashville and started walking around all the bars. And I went, Jesus Christ, these guys all sound like Jim now. I sent you a message like, you got to get down here. They all bit your style. Like,
I never liked country, but I like it now. I like where it's going,
It's weird. I listen to it at work because that's all I can get on my shitty little radio. So you don't hear the full range. I remember going to a bar last year and hearing a song that I had only heard at work and the fucking low end on it. I thought, is that an 808? Like they seriously are, some of these country guys are hitting old school rap sounds on the bass. It's weird. It's a really weird conglomeration right now.
Imagine if you got like a co-write, like you got like Jason Aldean to a co-write with like Raekwon the Chef, like his like rhythmic patterns, and his like rhyme schemes. I think that would be like the move.
There is a lot of that. There's a dude now who they called Jelly Roll.
Yeah.
He used to be a rapper apparently, and just made the switch into country, which seemed like a really, really odd stretch, but. I don't know. He fits in now. It's weird. genres become something else.
Yeah, it's great. You know, everybody hears everything. So it's fluid now. Everything's fluid.
Yeah, because I remember, I don't know if the first time we ever got you over to actually play was one of the Jerk Farm sessions. A bunch of dudes I played with were called Jerk Farm. We just get drunk and improv shit. And I remember Jim coming to one of those and like for weeks after that, just coming back, like writing pages and pages of shit. And it was like, holy shit, it's like something just flipped the switch on this guy and he just took off writing. Like, what was that? What was that like? Because it seemed like you were just piling shit up for a while there.
Yeah. I've, you guys were just like sitting there, making songs up on the spot. And I would say like really high quality songs, no writing or anything. And I could kind of relate to that in a way. It was like kind of something I was looking for. I didn't know because I was like, how do you write songs? Blah, blah, blah. I was like, oh, you just like record and, try to catch the good parts. So, that's still how I write songs. Like I have to record, I have like hundreds of songs, just cause you just hit record and go. I'm not sitting there like writing, and that's like that's how all my favorite artists wrote anyways,
Yeah. Cause it was like from there, it seemed like you had this big writing spurt where you were just, like I said, it got prolific there for a while. And it wasn't too long after that. I think it was when the Down for Whatever era began. And you had like a 3-man band, like Mandolin. Like, tell the crew about that band.
My friend Chris and I grew up. First we grew up fighting. Then we were in a play together, and he was like the Tin Man, I was the Lion. And we both realized we were into rapping, so we're just freestyling, backstage all the time. And for the Wizard of Oz play, and we got to be really good friends. And we started, kind of messing with music. We were in punk bands, primarily hardcore bands.
Right.
And then he went to California. Then when he came back, this was the era of like, Slightly Stupid was just coming out. And so we're doing like acoustic kind of reggae, but it was all like, it's like a mishmash of styles and, just like freestyling and, hoping a song comes out of it. And
some of them were so unique because like you said, you had kind of that almost hip hoppy cadence to some of the lyrics.
Yeah.
But then you've got the ska on the guitar. You had a mandolin in there too. And you've got like harmonies going. It was such, I said it was an odd thing, but man, you guys were tight.
Yeah. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Yeah. I'd like to work with Chris too. He's really good. His original songs are really good. So.
I remember going to a set in La Crosse where you guys were opening for a larger band at the time. I won't mention the band, but they'd played around and were fairly big. And I remember you guys opened for them. And when you guys got done and got off stage, the fucking hall emptied out. And there was like 8 people left for the headliner. You pulled a Jethro Tull on them. To bring back that reference, the Grand Funk Railroad callback.
I think Bob Marley got fired actually from opening for Sly and the Family Stone because he did that. Bob Marley he wasn't that big in his day, here at least. Yeah,
thinking those American 50s standards.
Yeah, but I'm glad we did that. I don't know.
Yeah, that was cool.
That was when music's fun that way. It's good just to have fun, really. I'm so serious now. I'm like trying to write country songs. It's like this formulaic thing, but it's good to have fun. I forget that.
Yeah. Hey, speaking of songs, you got one in the chamber you can fire off for us.
Let's do it.
Yeah, I went through an extensive sound check. Get to the fruits of that.
All right. So this song is called All Old Everything. All Old Everything. All right. Sound good? Make a hard left. Let's take the back road. Speed up. Roll down the windows. Know this whole county like the back of my hand. Got a beat up 99 Chevy. Tape deck, less than Tom Petty, singing wildflowers at the top of our lungs. Yeah, well, folks around here ain't made of money, Still we hold our heads up high, up high. We got just enough in this land of plenty, and it's alright, although the everything. Everything unload everything. Sun-kissed skin, ruby red lips, threadbare jeans with and knees ripped, killing me softly with those powder pink toes. 5-0 hand-me-down second round t-shirt. Don't it fit you just perfect? Girl, when you smile, you look like Marilyn Monroe. Yeah, well, folks around here ain't made of money, so we hold our heads up high, up high. We got just enough in this land of plenty, and it's alright, although the everything. Unload everything. Unload everything.
I can see how you can definitely adapt that right into the country genre if you so choose.
Thanks, man.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm going over the drink stuff. I didn't even do a good job. I didn't ask you what do we got in the cup tonight?
I'm on that turmeric honey chai with soy milk.
Oh, damn.
That's right.
That's how you keep that voice all good like that, which is kind of one of the questions I thought of, Jim, is I really like the gravel you throw in your voice and the way you make that limited range, even though you can clearly go different places. How do you feel about when you get doing things on stage? What's your set length going to be, and be able to do that, set after set, or multiple sets a night, or 5 shows a week, or how are you going to do on that?
Like 60 shows a month on average.
60.
So it works. You just do it enough, your voice adapts,
Great. Well, that sounds like one of the hardest things from watching people that I've known try and sing is get into singing condition and not ruin it by the neat bourbons nor the beer chasers.
I take zero care. I take zero care of my voice, but it's worked out well. I've played I played like that for like 10 years, so it's built up.
Yeah, you're like damn callous on there. Yeah, you've been going at it that hard since I've known you, so you've definitely built her up.
Yeah.
So when you come to Idaho, when's the tour going to hit out here?
I got to hit the, I'm not going to say, but the only thing I know about Idaho is it's a haven for a certain, people of a certain mindset. I'm not sure.
Oh, you didn't go with the obvious potato joke. Appreciate that.
No, that's funny. My mind goes to neo-Nazis right away.
That wasn't even my top 3 of all the insults I expected from you. So you're clearly a refined individual.
Yeah. Thinker. What can I say? But
I took a pass on the low-hanging potato fruit. That's a solid marker of a solid.
Is that where the Ruby Ridge thing went down, or no?
Yeah, it's barely in Idaho, but it's in Idaho. Yeah.
Okay.
We're a funky looking state like an L.
Pretty country, from what I've seen.
Yeah, it's pretty. Except when it's snowing, you got to drive through it, go to work, potholes.
I hear you.
Ice rain,
Yeah, it says Mister, I have AstroTurf for a backyard.
Facts.
I still love that. Absolutely love it.
What's the city in Idaho? Where are you? I mean,
far eastern Idaho. So, yeah, south of east of Pocatello.
Okay.
Ways. So yeah, we're closer to Yellowstone National Park than anywhere else.
Oh, wow.
That's all.
Shit.
Yeah, we do good. We've got a little music scene here that's mostly related to ska and metal. We got a couple of small venues that do, 100 to 300 people or so. and they try and catch up and coming bands on their way between Salt Lake and Portland, or Salt Lake and Boise, or whatever else. And it's got a real thriving group, but it doesn't seem to be a lot of originality. A lot of just repetitive stuff that everybody's doing their own version of one classic tune of something else. And so I've kind of dropped out of the local scene a bit, but you could definitely hop in a van and hit music in Salt Lake City and Pocatello, Idaho Falls, Twin Falls, Boise, Spokane. Portland would be the ultimate destination, I think, for a good singer-songwriter like that. I think we could probably cobble together a tour. We'll have our people get with your people and see what we can do.
Let's do it. In the summer, please. That'd be great.
Yeah. Like, what does Idaho claim for bands? The only band I can think of, I love Built to Spill. Of those guys
from Idaho.
Well, I think he initially was. If I think he moved, did he go to Washington too after that?
I'm gonna look it up.
Look it up.
The most famous singer-songwriter is Carole King, right?
Sure.
I've been on her property in central Idaho, and it's quite lovely. Go ahead, Hash.
Boise, Idaho.
Bum, bum, bum.
God damn. And this Built to Spill trivia fact brought to you by The Outsiders. Yeah, okay, never mind. The bit was good enough. I just want to use the toy.
I'm looking up famous bands from Idaho.
Oh, yeah. Sweet.
I don't know if there are very many famous bands, but there's been a lot of people who hang out here. Bus Stop is notoriously famous with Marilyn Monroe. Of course, our good friend Joe Pa, the author, Hemingway, whacked himself out here, so that was good. We're famous for that.
That's so nice.
We've got a cool little festival every spring that you can definitely get in on, Jim. This is not a joke either. I don't know where the booking is, but it's called Tree Fort. Okay. And they do like 400 bands over the course of a week and a half.
Yeah, you could get in there easy.
Awesome. Yeah, for sure.
Like they're always looking for artists. They're always looking for multiple genres.
Okay.
Stuff would fit in very, very smooth.
Perfect. Once again, have your people get with my people.
Road trip to Troy's. We're all going to die from alcohol.
Well, Joe won't come. Don't worry.
It's hard to find local country music that isn't derivative. That's like original and isn't just like blatantly trying to be something. I feel like that's like that. It's the local rap scene. A lot of the time is very derivative now. It used to be like 10 years ago. But now it seems like everyone either wants to be Eminem, Tech Nine, Drake. Like all the cadences are all the same. Everyone's doing either triplets or like angry rap and stuff. And it's just like, okay, what about you? What are you feeling? They're like, well, I feel
like I can sound like this guy pretty good.
Exactly. I feel like I could do this better. And it's like, well, what about doing what you want to do?
Yeah, well, I don't know what I want to do.
Yeah, which that's a good teaser because when we get closer to the end, I will throw out some of my observations and pointers that I have accumulated from multiple years of listening to nothing but country music at work because I can't pull in anything but country music. So, I might be able to give you some help in your genre switch. That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Jim Seam Western Tour, sponsored by Drinks with Ron, produced by Drinks with Ron, financed by Drinks with Ron. Follow our GoFundMe account.
Yeah, because you said it's been a while. I think you were out here, like you said, that day you drove through the storm. And I want to say, was that after my wedding? Jim actually played at my wedding.
That was after.
That was after. Okay. Yeah, so I really I know you've moved around since then, been a little bit out of the loop, but what's some of the journey been like, cross countries and different venues and things you've played in the last few years?
It was fun before COVID. I was, I was on the road for like 6 months a year, or more than that.
Fucking forgot about that.
Like 8 months a year or something. But, I was like based in Asheville for a while. Then when COVID hit, I didn't have any work. So I got I got really into day trading and stuff like everybody. So, I just went to Mexico for a while and hung out there and was doing that. And then I came back and I've just been playing like in Charleston, Savannah, like this area,
Okay.
I'm ready to tour, just like getting everything together. I got a bunch of songs. I have like an EP that's not out. I shot a bunch of videos in Mexico. Sweet. I ended up, of course, I met this like this guy was like, I met this dude. He's like, let's go dancing. I was like, sure, I can salsa dance. Like I never had. So I grabbed this girl and I was like stepping on her feet. She was like, why don't we talk instead? And ended up, she was like a well-known jazz singer down there. So like I opened up for her in some shows, and she put me onto a bunch of like directors, and so I did some videos down there that I haven't put out yet. But I'm telling you, Playa del Carmen is like it's like has so much talent, I'm up, but yeah, it was great. It was a great inn,
Talent or talent?
Yeah, no pun intended.
Like when Joe's talking about the bar, and so there was no talent there.
Yeah. But I fuck with Mexico hard. Like, I'm trying to live there. If I can, I want to live there, come here, make money. But it's a great place to write country music. It's like that Kenny Chesney vibe,
This great singer out of Key West. You might want to check him out. He's got a weird mustache.
Okay.
And he's got a lot of songs, and he tours a lot and talks about drinking, and he's got a whole place named after. It's called Margaritaville. You probably haven't heard of this guy. He's kind of failed as a worldwide talent, but you might want to give him a listen.
Man, that guy really, he scored, I'm not going to talk shit about Jimmy Buffett, but he.
Thank you, Alan Jackson, is what he needs to be saying, and he does appropriately so.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, Jim, I have a really important question related to your guitar.
Yeah.
I watched a couple of videos on the YouTube in my extensive preparation for today's conversation with you. Once again, thanks for taking time to be with us. And I noticed on one of your videos, you got a hell of a lot of unnipped strings hanging out the back end of your keys there, bud. You break a lot of strings, or you don't have a nipper? What's the deal?
I don't have a nipper. Typically, I'm like a twister instead of a nipper. So.
Well, you country will never let you in with that.
I got a new guitar now. I'm like responsible. It's like a nice Larrivee. So I've been treating it a little better. I haven't stepped on it yet.
Excellent. Hey, could you repeat that name? I was going to ask you about your axes there for a bit. Curious about your.
It's Larrivee. It's kind of like a boutique guitar. They're out of British Columbia originally. I think they switched to Oxnard, California, which is quite a downgrade. Well, I shouldn't say that. Oxnard is great, but it's like a factory town. But it's great. Really good sounding guitars. Like when I first heard of them, I went to a guitar shop, and this guy was like, "We got these in. They sound great. They're only like $300." So my friend and I, Chris, both bought them, and that's what we wrote those down for whatever song down. Now they're going. Now they like 10x. They're like $3,000 or whatever.
No, so are they all mahogany, or what's the hardwood makeup? Do you know?
Rosewood on the side. I don't really know about guitars, man. I gotta say, like, I know nothing about.
You play them and they sound good, and you tune them and don't nip the strings. Yeah.
Yeah, country's never going to let you in like that. They're going to take that unkempt Woody Guthrie shit and get the fuck out of here.
That's right.
You can have unkempt t-shirts, unkempt hair, bad hats, but you cannot have an unkempt guitar, my man.
That's right. They'll fight you.
I'm gonna be like in a designer suit and a guitar with strings all, strings hanging out. That's my approach. I cannot stand in country music. Those people have so much money, and they like look like they're like out of shop at a garage sale. But whatever. Rant over.
You can't hide money.
It's a little disingenuous,
Oh no, not like the fucking Blake Shelton tries to tell me he's a common man one more time. We're gonna fucking throw down.
Yeah.
He literally has a song. There's a line. I swear to fucking Jesus. My money has trouble making. I dropped I was at work. I dropped the shit and turned around like, you're a fucking multimillionaire. You are married to a multimillionaire. You just told me that you have trouble making money and that your truck won't start. We're going to fucking fight. You show up at the honky tonk.
He's role playing.
Yeah. Like, your truck won't start. Fucking fix it, bro. You got the cash.
That's true. It's like Al Pacino and Scarface.
I'm totally Cuban. Look at me. Look at me. If I talk like this, I'm so Cuban.
Yes, Cuban B.
Cuban B.
All right, Jim. So since you've talked about your rap eras of freestyle and whatnot, and you talked about how you just like to not really write and not sit down and do a song, but just kind of get it going and see what comes out and piece together later. What else are you paying your own money for to go see when they come to Charleston? Are you paying to see the intimate shows, the stadium shows, no shows, concertinas, salsa dancers? What are you up to?
I'm telling you, this was like a dream. I was at a restaurant, a Jamaican restaurant, like, hey, we got DJs here on the last Fridays of every month. Buford is a small town. It's where Forrest Gump was filmed. And I went there, and it was like my era of dancehall music. It's like, that's like Jamaican music. It's like, Beanie Man. But it was like my era, and that DJ had it. Like, he knew his stuff. And it was all Jamaicans there. It was like a real thing. And I felt so lucky. I kept telling everybody, like, we're so lucky to have this right here. So, like, that was, one of those magical things that, everybody's called me, like, light skin and stuff. It was like nobody really knew about it. And before that, I went to, there's a really good club here. There's a music that's called, like, Baile Funk. It's, like, from Brazil, like a new form of Brazilian dance music. And in my part of town, it's like the quote unquote, like, rough part of town, but they have a club that has that kind of music. And both those genres are, like, hard to find in any cities. And these are, like, small towns I'm in. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I paid $50 to get into that club just for that. And both these places, ever since, Elvis, you go into, across the tracks, any place where you want to hear good music, that's new music, you got to go to a place where, there's a chance you could get hurt. You know what I mean? That's always been the case. If you want to be, like, on the, see the new thing.
Makes it authentic.
Yeah,
for
sure.
Yep.
So that's what I'm into. And, like, I just saw Matt Stell right before he blew up here in town. He's good. But I mean, I just go see what I like, and I don't see what I don't like. That's the thing. I'm not going to go see whoever. But, there's a really good collective of DJs here, the Strawberry Squad, and they'll do, like, Afrobeat. So just like, just like stuff that I like, I've been running into lately, and I feel lucky, it's like, but yeah, no actual instruments played.
That's all right. That sounds like a winner for sure. Two little pieces before I yield the floor again, Ron, if you wouldn't mind. Speaking of listening to music you've never heard in places you might get stabbed. Portland, Oregon, circa a long time ago. Cherry Poppin' Daddies have yet to be on the scene. Starting to come through. I'm on the wrong side of tracks over on Burnside. And I'm with some buddies. And I got a friend who's out of bad behavior, and he gets in a little scrum with a frat boy. And I was the only one who had plastic on him. So I bought 30 drinks to keep from getting my ass beat one night. Whilst we're leaving, a kid runs up to our Jeep and asks, "Can I ride with you? I just got stabbed," and shows us his bleeding side. And the driver says, "Sorry, bud, we're full," and drove away. He didn't say bud, but he said, "Sorry, man, we're full. Got to go."
Yeah.
And so that's the closest I ever came to getting in trouble with something like that. But there are parts of Portland, as many people on this podcast can attest to, that probably won't protect you if you are exposed to the elements, as it were. But one other thing, Jim, one question I would ask you before I quit asking you stupid questions, because I'm curious about this. I always think about this because I love live music. I like to go and watch musicians play, experiment, do their thing. And I've got a whole list that's growing every concert I go to of people I don't want to see anymore because they sound too much like their studio albums. Have you seen anybody that we would recognize a name, or you can imagine people who you just wouldn't pay money to see anymore because they are just too tight as a band or as an act, and it just sounds like paying $80 for their CD or download?
No, nothing comes to mind, to be honest.
Good for you.
I saw Bob Dylan and he sucked, but that was for the opposite reason, because he didn't sing. Right. But I don't mind, man. I like it's poppy, it's tight, it's good looking band. I like all that stuff, to be honest. Like, I don't care. Like, I listen to, like, rougher music sometimes, but I like polished.
Right.
I think there's a balance, right, where you, like, have originality in your own thing, but it sounds great, right? I think that's a nice balance to be struck.
Excellent. Well, next time you have a chance to see St. Paul and the Broken Bones in your neighborhood, make sure you go see those guys. They do a great job of being tight and unique and clearly a genre. So I think they're hitting the notes you mentioned there as things you kind of like. So
I'll
free,
check it out.
yet another free plug on this highly listened to podcast.
Yeah, we just got them 12 more ears.
Their streams just went up like 10x.
Yeah. Getting shit done. Well, speaking of music, you got another one in the chamber you can fire off for us? It's I'm getting to the bottom of drink number 2 and yes, bourbon.
All right, here's something I just finished. All right. This one's about it's called Know Your Mind. I feel like it's based on a Dead Prez song called Mind Sex. You guys know Dead Prez, a hip hop group?
Oh yeah.
But you know,
I saw them.
You saw them?
I've seen them multiple times, but there was a riot that happened after one of their shows in Olympia, Washington that I was at, where there was a fight between a black and a white kid, and black kid got arrested, and it was a Dead Prez concert. And so if you know Dead Prez, you know that that's just like, you know, throwing fuel on the fire type of thing. And so they flipped the cop car. They broke the windows out. They gutted the cop car. They lit it on fire. Yeah. At a certain point, I didn't see the car get lit on fire. At a certain point, we were like, yeah, we should probably get out of here before it really gets out of hand. And so we drove back to Bellingham. But yeah, Dead Prez is the shit.
Yeah, that album "Let's Get Free" is like up there for me. It's solid, you know.
So is that Dead Prez as in a tribute to the Dead Presidents, the old punk band?
No, it's like PREZ. I think it's, you know, in Dead Presidents, you're typically talking about like money in hip hop, but I don't know why they say Dead Prez.
I've been told that it is all about the Benjamins. Yes, that's.
Yeah.
I heard someone said that once.
Yeah, cousin Benjamin, my dog name's Benjamin, car's Benjamin. All right, as you were, Jim. Sorry to interrupt.
All right, let's do it. This is based on a Dead Prez song, but it's a country song. All right. Laughing out loud late at night, underneath the neon light, slow and steady, how it's supposed to be. Yeah, where the eyes locked, lost in the chitter chat, a racehorse heartbeat goes pitter patter. Love it when you're leaning close to me. Girl, I wanna get to know your mind before I take you home and make you mine. Conversating with our hearts entwined, both thinking, damn, girl, I wanna get to know your mind before I take you home and make you mine. Conversating with our hearts entwined, both thinking, it don't get much better than this. Two shots, tequila flowing steady, jukebox dancing to Tom Petty. Midnight magic got me mesmerized. With its last call, let's go, it's getting late. Time flies, don't it feel like fate? Kissing underneath the exit sign. Girl, I wanna get to know your mind before I take you home and make you mine. Conversating with our hearts entwined, both thinking, damn, girl, I wanna get to know your mind before I take you home and make you mine. Conversating with our hearts entwined, both thinking, it don't get much better than this. Don't get much better than this. More or less, just finished it. So
Nice, that's tight.
thanks.
So how long have you been making country music?
Shit, I don't know. You know, I just started. I had this song Shelly that was like kind of like a step in that direction, but it at the time I was doing started doing it. Country it wasn't quite country, but now it is country.
Because I know when you told me, I was like, those people are as loyal as a fan base gets. So I mean, Darius Rucker figured that out. So I mean, was there more to it? Was that really it?
No, there's more to it. I'm down.
Yeah,
yeah. Like I like where country's going. I don't know, and I like that you can take all these different styles and put them in country now. So. I mean, that's all I write now. Just like, comes to me in my dreams and stuff. So I think it's like the path to go.
Yeah, because the weird thing is like you really don't, like, country has changed so much. You don't really have to change what you were doing,
right?
Other than just to say, hey, this is country now. Like, it's a rebrand.
I'd like to get like some co-writers because I don't know anything about, like, I'm from the country, but where we're from. When you're from the country and you're a weirdo, you don't really want to be. Right.
That's not, you want to be the opposite of everything that all that is.
So I'm not trying to like really write about that kind of stuff, but it'd be good to get a co-writer to like, that can kind of like that knows about like driving trucks and stuff.
Yeah, that's actually, that's a lot of the pointers I was going to give you because I've been listening to this country music at work. I posited a theory a couple years ago and I stand by it. I have no proof. I can't prove it. It's all anecdotal. And now, the Outsiders Social Club proudly presents How to Write Country Music by way of conspiracy theory. So, my roots of country music basically go back to Willie Nelson and the outlaw country of the 70s. That's where it begins and ends. Then a few years ago, I got a new job. Country was on the radio. You started hearing these songs. Of course, they're mentioning beer and drinking because that's country music. That's how it works. So beer doesn't really raise a flag. But then I started hearing a southern variant, which is cold beer. Not cold beer, but cold beer. So when I started hearing that was raising red flags. But what happened next shocked even me, because what I didn't realize is there was about to be a third variant appear, which is ice cold beer. So for a while, I actually wanted to log per hour how many mentions there were to beer versus cold beer versus ice cold beer. But I was working, didn't have time to do that. So I just moved on with my life. As you know, there's the standard trope that all country music is the same on the macro level with the drinking and the trucks and, with the women leaving you and the whatnot, the heartbreak. But that's when I started to realize that maybe even at the micro level now, country music was starting to become homogenized. They were using exact words and phrases. I'll give you the next example. The one that really pitched that theory was Two Pink Lines. I heard that in a song. I thought, hey, you know what? That's kind of a clever reference to pregnancy with a pregnancy test. That's it's almost artistic as borderline Shakespearean. Chet, I'm a big fan. But then the problem was, within the next few weeks, I heard it again. And I said I was working, so I can't be sure. But I thought I heard a third song mention it. And like I said, that's the poeticness of the Two Pink Lines really cushions the blow of the rednecky line that the test was in the CVS bathroom. But let me digress. The next one that just, again, reinforced everything I'd already thought was the Gotta Sell My Truck incident. A few years back, there was someone that was trying to check every box on the country cliche list. It was a song about a woman who had left him and then a truck that he had. But here's the rub. The truck had memories tied to the woman that left him, and therefore he was going to have to sell the truck. Right? I mean, I was like, man, well done. You crossed a bunch of shit off the list. You found a new angle. This is solid. The problem was 1 week later, there was another song on the radio about a guy who had a truck and a girlfriend. And then he didn't have a girlfriend, but he still had the truck. And with the memories of her tied to the truck, he had to sell the truck. But the title of that song actually had the asking price right in the title. So I was like, are you kidding me? These are the same fucking songs. So that was when it really solidified this theory I have. I think there is a group in Nashville that they meet once a year, and they get together and decide what all the cliches and the tropes they're going to use for the next calendar year. And you basically get a little list, and they say, try to work all of these into your songs as creatively as possible. Sounds a little far-fetched, but then I had the aha moment that became my fucking thesis statement for this whole thing. See, like I said earlier, I'm not a big country guy. I begin and end with Willie Nelson, so I don't have a lot of familiarity. I started hearing this phrase, neon moon, over and over and over. And I thought, that's really country. That's got to be one of the things that they're all saying right now. So I looked it up and I realized that is actually a reference to an old country song. So I was like, wait a minute. So they're all referencing this old song. So I started looking more into that angle. And there's this song, She Had Me at Heads Carolina or some such thing. It's a song about a 90s song, using even the title of the 90s song. But here's the rub on this one. It's a chick sings that song karaoke. So that's how he ties it in. It's like, oh, look at you. You worked in an old song. So cheers to you. But then I said, back to that Neon Moon, a song where I kept hearing it, I started listening. I'm like, wait a minute. A lot of these sound very country cliche-ish. So I looked it up. It's actually an entire song that has names of songs by George Strait. So this whole song is just a song of songs by one artist. And then, like I said, the delicious fucking cherry on top to tie this whole thing together. There was another use of Neon Moon. And when I listened closely to this song, it's actually called What's Your Country Song? And this song is a list of country song names. So there it is. I have no way to end this segment, so I just take a small bow. And I say also, sundress. If you ever want to talk about a woman, just say sundress.
Yeah, I feel like country audiences, can handle a little slightly higher level, So we'll see.
Well, it's kind of interesting. I think country music is getting to the point where there's room for people who aren't going to be country. I mean, look at the mega acts. You got Beyonce and the Chicks doing mashups, right? You got Maren Morris doing songs about stuff. It throws back to, Red Ragtop from Tim McGraw back in the day. I mean, a country song about abortion is not, the thing, but by God, it was out there in 1999 or whatever, it was 2004. So I think maybe the whole genre is beyond canceling itself and realizing that everybody buys records and plays downloads. So I think if they're coming into your own, if you're coming into your own, that's just fantastic.
Thanks. Can't help it.
Yeah, you can always disguise not even necessarily disguise, but you can, like, the melody always takes over. So you can I always think of Naughty by Nature, going back to some hip hop, but I always think of Everything Is Gonna Be All Right by Naughty by Nature, right, where it's just like, the super happy fucking beat, but you listen to it and it's just about him being abandoned by his family. It's like a hella fucked up song, you know what I mean? In the lyrical content. But at the same time, with the tone, you know what I mean? And going to I don't know if you guys would recognize the group Purity Ring, but they did super poppy sounding, ethereal, angelic, electronic music, and all of the lyrical content was all cult sacrifice. And it was just like, did they just say, stab me in the womb, you're just like something very off like that, but point of what I'm trying to say is that you can make a hit song about anything, and the lyrics are always going to take second. I think it's they're not listening. Well, it's just the Swedish. Do you ever watch that Netflix documentary, This Is Pop? I highly recommend it. But there's the episode about Swedish pop producers, and they're just like, the lyrics come second. And you look at all of the hits that all of these producers have put out.
Yes, they don't make any sense.
Well, it's not only that they don't make sense, but it's just they don't need to. It
doesn't matter. It's got to sound
makes sense.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? The melody makes sense, and it's just if you got that, people are going to follow it. So as you were saying, the country audience, you think that they're not so stupid that they need to be, hand fed this kind of same stuff all the time.
Right.
You could definitely give them something new, and people will either get on board because they're stoked on it, or get on board because they don't realize that this is some meta commentary type of stuff. With I don't like saying that because I don't want to be,
Right.
you know what I mean. But
Yeah.
I think of the
super
song-
meta douche guy.
yeah, I think of the song by Kendrick Lamar, "Swimming Pools," you know, and that whole song, it's like the hook is about it. Like it seems like you could play it in the club and people would be like, "Oh, you know, I'm having a drink and stuff," but the whole song is about alcoholism and social anxiety and people drowning their you know, anxious feelings in alcohol in order to have like, you know, a fun experience and stuff like that, while disguising it as a pop song. So it's like it can be both of those things at the same time. It's really, you know, the good artist can do it. It's definitely
It's always been an interest of mine, songs that are like that, where it's does not at all fit. Like for me, the big one is Maxwell's Silver Hammer from the Beatles. Like it's literally the guy's just going through the song murdering everybody while they're just doot doot doot. Hey, Silver Hammer, you fucking like. Wait a minute, he's murdering people to this jolly tune. This is unacceptable.
I'd like to place the marker yet again that the Beatles suck. And no Beatles song has ever been written that was worth listening to.
I'll come to Idaho and fight you.
not any song, Troy.
Well, maybe one or two, maybe six, but definitely not. Maybe not a whole career's worth, and definitely not that
Blasphemy.
stupid picture walk crossing the road bullshit. No,
Oh, that's
I mean, oh, what do we got here?
that's it right there.
Oh.
That's-
I can't see it. Show it again.
I don't want to dump my cocaine.
Don't want to dump my cocaine, son.
Very good. Well, one of my favorite versions of a song that lifted somebody, you know, to the highest heights, of course, is "S.O. Son of a Bitch" by Nathaniel Rateliff, right? That guy wrote a song like they were intentionally drinking themselves to death in, you know, a la old country fashion, and wrote that song as a rejoiner of getting back into life. And now they have to end every stinking concert with it as their encore because people think it's a party song, as a party anthem. It's like, it's not, you know. I mean, there's worms crawling all over me. My mind is creeping. My body's aching. There's worms crawling all over me. It's just the kind of funniest thing how we can take that hook, the melody hook, and just ride with it, or just even just one lyric, which is not part of the melody necessarily.
Well,
just
that's
the hook lyric,
another.
and it becomes an earworm that's like, "Meh," gets in there and doesn't ever come out. And that one, I've seen him, I don't know, 10 times at various festivals and things. And I always feel bad for the guy to have to perform that song because it made generational wealth for him and his family. But it was, you know, crushing as a family man. It ruined his marriage. It broke up his partnership. It did all this stuff. And it's right out there, but he still has to celebrate it every night. And it's really weird to me.
That's another episode we could do. Songs that are completely mistaken what they are. Like my go-to for that is "Born in the USA." Especially like when Reagan wanted to use it for his campaign. It's like, dude, this isn't a raucous America's awesome anthem. Like, you're just confused by the keyboard. Like, you look past the keyboard. He's not saying we're okay, never mind. But I digress.
Music's hypnotizing, man. It's like it shows that a melody is more powerful than a lyric, you know.
Yeah.
Right.
More people will follow it. It's not that the lyric doesn't exist. It's just
Well, that and "Born in the USA" is all I could understand from that fucking thing. Like, yeah, awesome, man. Whatever you're saying, that kicks ass. Get to
That's
the "Born
why-
in the USA" part.
Yeah,
that's
Bon
why I
Jovi did
watch
it pretty well
movies.
too with that whole nonsense.
I watch movies with subtitles because I can't understand anyone, let alone like you know.
We have an
rock
old
and roll
sounder yet,
things.
Rono? We need an old sounder because we've certainly got an old crew here.
Yeah, we are trending old. That's what we need. Trending old. That's the sounder. I gotta. Trending old.
Air
Placeholder. Yeah, that'll do. That'll
one.
do, pig. That'll
What
do.
Jim, what are your favorite like, so you did rap for a long time. You listened to rap for a long time. I understand that rap is very hard to do as a profession. Did you ever try to put out like albums and stuff besides freestyle, or
No,
were you
I
ever
wasn't
trying
really. I wouldn't say I was a rapper. Like, I kind of have the same issue with songs. It's like I could just come up with like rhythms and melodies, but the lyrics were kind of nonsensical, non-linear. Not even like a Young Thug kind of way. But yeah, so it's never really my thing. It was just like kind of good practice.
Yeah, more your cadence and kind of the flow of how you do songs.
Yeah.
It just, it really colored a lot of how you sounded.
I would make beats. I make beats. I think that's like a better lane. But we'll see. I even love, I love hip hop now. I mean, I love like rap now. I don't know if you call it hip hop, but I love it now. It's like reminds me a little bit of like Nirvana when they came out or something. It's like like how Young Thug kind of changed everything. It's like this kind of like Percocet lean vibe, but it's doesn't have to make sense, I mean, I'm not going to say they can write like Kurt Cobain.
Some of the lyrics become very lucid in their, kind of fucked upness.
Yeah.
But a lot of the times, I think, especially with Young Thug, he I've had arguments with some of my friends who are like hip hop purists that, are only like boom bap, anything past like 2000 is like blasphemous. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's about where I am, but I pull it back more to 97. It's like Tupac ended it for me.
Yeah, when Tupac died, I stopped caring.
That's when rap really just...
Young Thug really changed it in the sense that, like, you're what you're saying is like his lyrics didn't really matter, so he was using his voice as an instrument,
right?
And it's like the melodic quality, the cadence. You know what I mean? It's like a weird melodic drum.
Yeah,
that you can pick up on the words and the meaning if you want to at times, but it doesn't necessarily matter. And if you can just kind of stop latching on to like, oh, what is this person saying? What is this person saying? Because, you go to, rap shows where people are doing the boom bap thing and everyone's like standing there and they're,
right.
They're not dancing or anything. It's because they're trying to follow along with the lyrics because like everything's about the lyrics in that kind of rap music. It's just like drums and lyrics. And so it's, unless like the sound quality is really good, it's not, there's not like melodic stuff for people to follow and things like that. So this newer style of hip hop was a lot more fun to see live.
Miss the scratching, Carn Sarnet.
Yeah.
Give me an old wheels of steel and whatnot.
I have a lot of DJ friends that are very bummed out about the transition, into now. DJing is now like a thing that you do for weddings. And if you have, that's like what it is, and
it used to be singing and now it's DJing. It's just the progression. Quit making babies, quit having all these families, and let's get back to the 1970s where we belong.
Well, on that note, I think we're approaching the hour mark. Jim, you got one to take us into the post game? Yeah,
we'd like you to hit the T extra hard in the post game.
Yeah. Yeah, we've cashed the over. So we've cashed the over for drinks in the episode. Sadly, we did not hit the over for dogs, but there was plenty of bongs. So with that, I'll turn it over to Jim. Take us out on a song, my man.
I'm glad you said something about lyrics not mattering as much. I have like a million songs with melodies. I think I'm just going to go with it. Once you get production around it,
you have I obviously don't know you that well, but it seems like you have a strong grasp on melody and songs. If I've learned anything, and like kind of the theme of my second phase of my life that I'm just entering is trust your intuition. You know what I mean? And like if you feel it, go with it. You know what I mean? And those probably are going to be the songs that'll end up being the hits. You know what I mean? Because you're feeling it in that place that it really matters. And that's where music really talks to. So
yeah. My intuition says do more drugs. I'm going to listen.
Cheers. Speaking of which, here's what I wrote in Mexico. Very small town I found on the beach. And this is called paradising. I feel like that's a good like country. Paradising as a verb. As the day turns into night, put your little hand in mine. We locked eyes in the fading light, right beside the rising tide. It ain't nothing but a slow dance. Everybody needs a little romance. Finally found forever, there ain't no chance. I'm gonna let heaven slip away. I wanna kiss you under palm trees, make a little love out in the night breeze. You and me together, paradise sing. Looks like heaven's here to stay. Big smiles and bare feet, heart to heart and cheek to cheek. You and me, happy as can be. Looking up at shooting stars. Yeah, well, it ain't nothing but a slow dance. Everybody needs a little romance. Finally found forever, there ain't no chance. I'ma let heaven slip away. I wanna kiss you under palm trees, make a little love out in the night breeze. You and me together, paradise sing. Looks like heaven's here to stay. It ain't nothing but a slow dance. Everybody needs a little romance. Finally found forever, there ain't no chance. I'm gonna let heaven slip away. I wanna kiss you under palm trees, make a little love out in the night breeze. You and me together, paradise sing. Looks like heaven's here to stay. You and me together, paradise sing. Looks like heaven's here to stay.
Jim Seam, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for coming on the Outsiders Social Club. Wherever you find fantastic artists, you'll find Jim Seam.
Take care, guys. Thanks for having me.
Yeah,
We sure appreciate you. Thank you.
Yeah, appreciate you, Jim. Great music.
We ready to hit the post game?
Hit it.